Returning now to the draft issue here at home, and the Yesh Atid party is spearheading the legislation to draft haredi men into national service. Faction member Rabbi Dov Lipman, who is himself ultra-Orthodox, told IBA's Ari O'Sullivan that despite today's massive demonstration, he believes ultra-Orthodox men will be integrated into the nation's army and the workforce.
The legislation has already passed in the committee. It'll pass in the Knesset next week, and there's no doubt in my mind it's going to be a positive revolution, not just for the ultra-Orthodox community, but for broader Israel as well. We're talking about tens of thousands of young men entering the workforce, thousands gradually entering the army, nothing short of a positive revolution. I will point out a small little nuance. Today is not, they didn't call for a violent demonstration, they called for a prayer rally. Those familiar with the ultra-Orthodox community will know that that's a very subtle nuance, but an important nuance. It's almost saying, this has to happen. We actually agree with large parts of it, but our nature is such that we have to actually speak out against it, so this is their way of doing it. In my opinion, I speak to ultra-Orthodox people on the street all the time, and they know that the law was done together with sensitivity towards the religious side, sensitivity towards the value of Torah, and I must say that as a member of Yesh Atid, I'm very proud that we have fulfilled our campaign promise. This law is exactly what Yair Lapid said throughout the campaign, exactly what I campaigned on throughout the campaign, and we're following through on one of our major flags.
But even if this legislation does pass and is attempted to be implemented, the haredi male will not be doing the same equal service as the non-haredi male. Is that fair?
Equality in national service is a little bit of a misnomer. There's a process towards equality, and that's what I call this. This is the start of a process. There will be, now let's remember, only 13% of the Army in general is combat. So anybody who says, why aren't they all going to be combat soldiers? In the broader community, all of them are not combat soldiers, but everyone will play a role. And that's the message here. Whether in combat, and many of them do want to be combat, whether as electrical technicians in the Air Force, which many of them do want to do in the Shachar Kachol program, or functioning in the Army or national service in any other way. The message is we're one nation, we do all things together, and by the way, yes, Torah study for the elite scholars, that's also a service, and for the first time in Israel's history, that's being put into law as well.
But Rabbi, what we see from not only from the demonstration today, but from years of dealing with this issue, the vast majority of the haredi leaders just simply do not accept this.
There's a gap between the public statements that are made and what happens behind closed doors. You know, for all the pomp and circumstance about we're against, they were part of the committee, they voted in the committee, they actually had some influence in the committee, and that dialogue continues. I will also mention personally, I was in touch with rabbis throughout this process. One rabbi who even said to me, Dov, he said, keep going with this, you're going to save our community from ourselves. And that dialogue is there. Sometimes when a major change takes place, it does require sort of an outside force to come in with sensitivity, but mandate things via law. And that's what's happening over here. Again, I have to say, for the first time in 65 years, an arrangement which makes sense. It's not the secular side saying every 18-year-old must leave tomorrow and serve. It's not the haredi side saying no one is going to serve. It's a balance, it's a process, and I actually do believe, and not from some false optimism, I really do believe that the way it was done and what the law actually says enables it to be something which will work. And I can't overemphasize the 30,000 men 22 and over who can now go to work and not have to serve, which is going to be a major change for the community in terms of people who have been living off of government subsidies and now actually contributing towards the society.